Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy Heights Academy. What if I told you that a single strike in the Middle East of the sea could shake the entire world economy? Not a nuclear bomb, not a world war declaration, but a gas field. Yes, hidden beneath the waters of Persian Gulf lies the South Pars gas field, a silent giant that powers millions of homes, industries, as well as economies across the continents. So, as you can see here, the headlines: how Israel attack on South Pars gas field only prolongs the war in West Asia. Yes. Now imagine, just try to imagine this: missiles raining down on that very lifeline, flames rising from the world's largest energy reserves, workers fleeing, nations watching in shock, and within hours, retaliation begins. Yes, retaliation. So, Iran also retaliated. Strikes hit Qatar region, threats emerge from Saudi Arabia. Global powers, they start issuing warnings. Oil markets tremble. So this is no longer just a conflict between the Israel and Iran. This is something far more dangerous, because when energy becomes a weapon, the battlefield doesn't stay in one region. It spread across the entire planet. So the real question here is this or we can say, is this just another escalation or the beginning of a global energy war that could affect every single one of us? So stay with me, because what is unfolding right now could redefine the how wars are fought in 21st century. So first we need to understand what is the bigger picture, what is the context of this news. है ना? What was the whole scenario that occurred recently? So let's try to understand what is the bigger picture, what just happened. See, as we know that the war is going on in West Asia, which involves Israel and Iran. Now, instead of only attacking the military targets, both the sides, they started hitting the energy infrastructure. है ना? Like gas fields, oil plants, refineries, etc. and etc. And this is dangerous because energy means power, economy, as well as global supply. This is most important thing. Now, first we need to understand step by step what triggered this escalation. First, we need to understand what triggered this escalation. As you can see here on camera, this was there in the news. World's largest gas field in Iran in flames after US-Israel strike. Yes. So what triggered this escalation? First of all, we need to understand. See, Israel attacks a massive gas field. Yes. This is the context. Israel attacks a massive gas field. Okay. Now, so recently Israel attacks South Par gas field, and let me tell you, this South Par gas field, this is the largest natural gas reserves in the world. अब इससे क्या होगा? Iran hits back, है ना? This is South Par region, as you can see here, South Par, this region, and it is under the control of excuse me. So it is under the control of Iran. Okay. Now what Iran is going to do? Iran hits back, but harder this time. It was wider. So let's try to understand. So Iran also hits back when Israel did this thing. Iran retaliated by attacking Qatar. अब कतर में ईरान ने कहां पर अटैक किया? Iran retaliated by you can say attacking Qatar. There is one gas field called as Ras Laffan Energy Hub in Qatar. Then Iran also attacked, as you can see here, this region, Ras Laffan. Now, and then Iran also attacked Saudi Arabia's energy facilities, which means the conflict is no longer just Israel versus Iran. Now other Gulf countries, they are also getting pulled in. Okay. Now the question here is, why is this South Pars gas field so important? Just try to understand why the South Par gas field is very important. Now try to understand, as you can see this map, just think of it like this. If oil is the blood of global economy, then South Par is one of the biggest heart which pumping that blood. Okay. Now there are certain key facts related to South Pars. It covers 9,700, first of all, 9,700 square kilometer area. Okay, 9,700 square kilometer area, and then it actually holds 1,800 trillion cubic feet of gas, which means about 8% of the world's gas reserves. Okay, which means it is enough to supply the world for around 13 years. This much of gas is there. Okay. Now, why it is important for Iran? First, we need to understand why it is important for Iran, the south parts. See, for Iran, it provides two-thirds of its natural gas. For Iran, it provides two-thirds of its natural gas. It runs electricity, heating, industries, etc. And if this is damaged, Iran economy suffers badly. Okay. Now, why Qatar is important here? Now, North Pars, okay, it is divided into two parts, South Par and North Par. This North Par field, it comes under the control of Qatar. Now, their part is called as North Field. Qatar part is called as North Field, as you can see here. And it supplies around 20% of global LNG, liquefied natural gas. And if this is hit, global energy prices can shoot up. This is the scenario. So overall, we need to understand the importance of Pars gas field. Now, why it is important? See, first of all, geographical location is very important here. Okay, geographical location very important for this gas field. See, this field lies hidden beneath the waters of Persian Gulf, as you can see here. Okay, spanning a massive 9,700 square kilometers. However, it is divided by a maritime border, which means two nations share the exact same geographical reservoir. So, what are those two nations? Qatar and Iran. If you see Qatar's territory around 6,000 square kilometer, which is also called as North Doma or North Field, comes under the Qatar. Second, Iran's territory around 3,700 square kilometer, which is also called as South Pars. Clear? Now, apart from this, apart from geographical importance, second important thing here is we need to understand the staggering scale. Now, staggering scale, see, to put the size of this field into the perspective, it holds almost much, you can say, recoverable gas as all other natural gas fields in the world. Now, if you see combined, so if you see the reserves, it contains an estimated 1,800 trillion cubic feet and 51 trillion cubic meters, आप कह सकते हैं, of natural gas. Now, if we talk about condensate, it also roughly holds 50 billion barrel of natural gas condensate. What is the meaning of condensate? A highly valuable liquid hydrocarbon. And then if you see global share, together the field, or you can say the shared field, south and north, so together the shared field, if you see, it holds nearly 19% of world's total proven recoverable gas reserves. Then apart from this field is also having economic importance. Now, how economic importance here? See, it is a tale of two nations. Even though Iran and Qatar, they are drawing from the same underground basin, they use the resource very differently due to their distinct geopolitical realities. Qatar, the global exporter, Qatar has used its side of the field to become one of the wealthiest nations on the earth. Backed by the billions in foreign investment, advanced technology, Qatar extract the gas, chills it into a liquid at massive facilities like Ras Laffan, है ना, and then Qatar ships it globally. So Qatar, if you see, Qatar currently supplies roughly 20% of world's LNG, liquefied natural gas. On the other hand, if you see Iran, the domestic lifeline, it is domestic lifeline for Iran. Iran's side of the field is crucial for its survival, which actually providing roughly 80% of country's domestic natural gas need. And because of heavy western sanctions, ईरान lacks the foreign investment. कोई भी country वहां पे investment नहीं लेकर आती है ना. ईरान lacks technology which is required to export LNG globally. So instead, Iran pumps the gas into its domestic pipeline network to heat the home, generate electricity, and feed its vast petrochemical industry. So ultimate, if you see this region, the ultimate geopolitical flashpoint here. So the ultimate flashpoint here is the importance of the South Pars is not just historical. It is currently at the very center of global conflict. And recently the field became a direct battleground, in the escalating Middle Eastern war. This actually highlighting its vulnerability and also the massive global importance. So Israel launched targeted military strike directly on Iran's South Pars, South Pars processing facilities. So this was actually a severe escalation, which actually aiming at the core of Iran's domestic energy grid. So in response, Iran ने क्या किया? Iran fired the ballistic missile at Qatar, Qatar Ras Laffan LNG export hub, and then also various energy facilities in Saudi Arabia. This is the whole scenario. Okay. So in overall sense, we can say that South Pars and North Field, or North Pars, is much more than the geographical feature. It is an economic anchor of the Middle East basically, and also a critical pillar of global energy security. Now, the question here is, why this attack actually a big deal? Why is this a big deal? First thing is, we need to understand war is expanding geographically. Yes, now the war is expanding geographically. Yes. Earlier, it was mainly between Israel and Iran. Now it involves Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. So this risk turning into a regional war. Okay, so as you can see here, so all these Gulf countries, so they gradually they are also becoming a part of this crisis. Now, second important thing, energy is becoming a weapon here. Yes, instead of fighting armies, now countries are targeting the gas fields, oil refineries, energies hub. So this is called as weaponization of energy. This is also called as weaponization of energy. Then third important thing that we need to understand here is global economy is at risk. If energy supply is disrupted, oil and gas prices also rise. Inflation increase worldwide, and countries like India, they will suffer because they import energy from this region. Then the next important thing, it is a hard to recover damage. Yes. Now various experts, they actually warn oil facilities can be repaired relatively faster, but LNG gas facilities, it may take years to fix. So damage here is actually a long-term crisis. Okay. Now why this prolongs the war? This is the most important thing that we need to understand. First thing is a cycle of escalation. Yes, cycle of escalation. Yes. See, Israel attacked South Pars, then Iran retaliated through Qatar and Saudi. Iran retaliates on Qatar and Saudi. Gulf countries, they threaten the response. US warns of bigger action. So each steps pulls more countries in. So this regional war can turn into a global war or global crisis. Okay. Now, second important thing here is strategic logic. Now, when we talk about strategic logic, energy infrastructure is too valuable. That is why every attack, it hurts economy deeply. It creates pressure to retaliate harder. Okay. So what will be the outcome? The outcome will be no one backs down and the war continues longer. So the simple thing here is we need to understand this is no longer just a military war now. It is becoming an economic and energy war. And that is a dangerous thing. Why? The reason here is because it is going to affect the whole world, not just this West Asia region. It increases the chances of full scale regional conflict, and it can also trigger a global energy crisis. So, when one thing we need to understand, when the countries start attacking the energy lifelines instead of just armies, then war stops being short conflict. This actually turns into the long and global crisis. So here is the reality that we cannot ignore, that this was never just about the territory politics or retaliation. The moment the South Pars gas field was targeted, the rules of the game actually changed, because energy is not just a resource, first of all. Okay, it is a power, it is survival, and it is about the global stability. And when nations begin to strike at each other, energy lifeline, if we say, so they are not just attacking an enemy, they are just shaking the foundation of entire world economy. So today it is gas field in the Gulf, tomorrow it could be the oil route, shipping lanes, or critical infrastructure anywhere in the planet. Okay, and that is what makes this moment so dangerous. So every missile which is fired does not just escalate a war, it pulls more countries in, raises global stakes, and makes peace harder to achieve. Now, the scariest part here, war like these don't end quickly. They expand, they evolve, they consume. And in a world so deeply dependent on energy, even a distant conflict can reach your home through rising prices, economic shocks, and global instability. So next time when you hear about a strike in faraway region, remember this one thing. It is not just about war anymore. It is a ripple that could touch the entire world. Because in today's interconnected world, when energy burns, the whole planet feels the heat. This is the scenario which is going on. So I hope this issue is clear to everyone. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much. And to subscribe our channel, so for such kind of videos, for such kind of geopolitics, subscribe our channel Legacy IAS Academy. Thank you so much.